Hi, this is Privateer Station, and today we are bringing you day 245 of Putin's invasion in Ukraine, done in usual conversational manner between Alexey Arestovich, Lieutenant Colonel, advisor to the Office of the President of Ukraine, and Mark Fagin, Russian opposition politician. Enjoy. Dear friends, glad to see you all on Fagin Live. Today is Wednesday, October 26th. It is 1 minute past 10 in Kyiv, and we're doing another stream, day 245 with Alexey Arestovich. Glad to see you, Alexey. Good evening. Alright, we have almost 110,000 of you watching us live. About 20,000 clicked the like button. Do not forget to share links to that stream everywhere you discuss these matters. And of course, subscribe to Fagin Live, to Alexey Arestovich, and to the Privateer Station if you are listening or watching that in English. Alright. We have quite a lot of news, right? Rather important ones. Just lead me, I'll try to answer. Okay, let's take a look at the front. Strange things are happening. We either do not understand something, or is it changing? It is changing, and it is changing in some parts to our favor, in other parts not too much. So if we look at Svatova direction, Russian forums are discussing that it is changing into our favor on Svatova direction. Then, if we look down towards Kherson, that situation is changing to a less favorable for us. They aggregated over 30 battalion tactical groups. That is a huge military force, and there are some battle-worthy troops and groups there, so this is not going to be a simple front. Are they already counterattacking there? They're preparing. And on the other hand, however, it is really fortunate for our artillery. When they aggregate so many troops, it is real easy for us to hit them. By the way, I don't know if you saw that, Kadyrov TikTok warriors posted something about their position in Kherson, and pretty soon after, HIMARS hit that building. Yeah, he came out screaming and yelling that he'll be destroying the last building in Ukraine after this attack. Yep, and in this case, do filter that, consider that he is sending this message to internal Russian audience. 98% of what they say is. And here we can use some words of Minister Speer, how he was the minister from Nazi Germany in the Second World War, when he was amazed by how rough do democratic leaders treat their people during the war, and how gentle is Hitler's management of his people. So tyrannical government always is dependent upon the view, upon the moods and sentiments of population. So most of these statements are directed towards internal audience in the Putin's regime as well. And what's happening in Bakhmut? Bakhmut, I cannot vouch for that, but they're starting to gather data about the overall losses of the Russian side. They're approaching about 8,000 ballpark. Over what time? Over the last month and a half. Okay, that's impressive. So why do you think they fortified Kherson front so much? People were projecting that they might lose that, and it appears that they're ready to spend more than 8,000 there. Well, Mark, if they voted for Donetsk, Zaporozhye, and Lugansk regions as a part of Russia, they need to find ways to capture them. Right, but how are they going to supply that? Well, they're finding ways. They're still covering some of the bridges with anti-air defense. They're jamming communications. They're setting some bridges to work during the nighttime and then disassembling it for the day. And on our side, so they're being rather consistent. And on our side, we are lacking equipment. And this is a function of slow walking of planned resupply of Ukraine and refitting of Ukraine army. So, do you think this is all a result of mobilization? Yeah, this is a result of a mixed things, mobilization and some rotation. So they had quite a few troops over in Zaporozhye, and they moved them over to Kherson. And yes, that's a mix, mobilization and rotation. What about Belarus border? Anything there? Over there, we have about 7 Belarus battalions on their side, who are there for about 8 months, and they're just monitoring their border, nothing else. Not too many Russian troops there. There may be up to 9,000, and for the most part, they're building camps, setting tents, preparing possible positions for the army. But it is too far for anything active to happen there. Potentially, it may happen. Potentially, they may create a threat on the northern front, but it's not in the near future. So, within a month? No, Mark, it's a little too far. I mean, to say a little further than a month. So in winter? Yeah, winter, Mark, don't take winter as a difficult time for warfare. If anything, it'll be easier to walk because all the slush of autumn will be gone. Yeah, but when you're fighting, then you're going on the ground and getting frozen. If you do that in autumn, it's a little easier. Yeah, maybe, because if you go and fight in winter, someone can say it's not as bad as in summer when you have to lay on the same ground at 40 Celsius or 110 Fahrenheit. And dehydration also gets you pretty fast. So, I don't know. It's not simple. It's rather hard. I want to quote Clausewitz here. Military art is simple, it's understandable, and can be taught in school, but it is very difficult to fight. So, okay, I do want to call this current military situation somewhat mysterious. Here is an interesting one. The President of Guinea, Mamara Mbala, gave a message to Zelensky that President Putin is ready to sit down and at the table with Zelensky and discuss the ending of this war. So, indeed, that Mbala person visited Moscow, right? Is it a joke? Is it President Putin deciding to send somebody like, hey, let's get Guinea president and send it over to make a news splash? Well, it's a protocol. This thing can be transferred from president to another president only by president. So this is not a new thing. We've been talking that Russia is doing all they can to drag us to the negotiation table. So why is he doing that then? If he has troops and has numbers, why is he insisting on getting you at the table? Well, they can defend their position right now, right, for the next month or two. But looking forward, they're already using artillery shells of a 4th and 5th category, the ones that you normally should not be using. So they know that in January and come February, they will be in a much direr situation. Or is there anything pressing them now to sit at the table? No, they understand that they're lacking perspectives in the future. So all these motions to maybe take Bakhmut, to not give Kherson, These are attempts to provide for a better negotiation position. That's it. They don't have any operative targets in this. They already understand Putin and his security office. They do understand that they have lost this war. And their immediate task is to negotiate into something that they can present as victory in Russia, so they would not be dethroned. And they're ready to waste hundreds of thousands of mobilized lives, because time is ticking not in their favor. Please explain, elaborate on that. Why not in their favor? I understand why some of our viewers may need help. Well, Mark, okay, they're running out of ammo. They're running out of artillery shells. They dropped already about 700,000 in our heads throughout this year. And they're running out. They borrowed about 100,000 from Belarus, but when they are out, they have nothing else. If they don't have artillery, they cannot even hold their territories. That's the core element of their military and tactical operational style. 60% of what they're using now on our heads are in the condition that they should not be used. They're dangerous to themselves. So they're refitting, refreshing them right on the front line, trying to get them to some battle worthiness. So that's what they're facing. So at the same time, 30 battalion groups is about, what, 23,000 people there in Kherson? Yeah, it means that we cannot capture Kherson right now, but they don't have perspective to hold it. And that's why they want to sit down and negotiate, so they don't have to withdraw, they don't have to retreat, they don't have to lose it, and then to try to explain what's going on. So what did Zelensky answer? He answered in two things. First, you need to negotiate. You need to understand what you're going to negotiate about. How can you negotiate with a side that drops bombs on your head, that is trying to destroy civilian infrastructure with winter coming? How can you even talk to the person who is destroying your energy, your power lines in the country, and then wants to talk about something? And then the second is whom to talk to. He did not elaborate on that, but there is a decision still standing of Ukrainian Security Council and Ukrainian President that they are not negotiating with Putin. So the matter is closed. So Sissoko Mbala came back with nothing. She came back with nothing. Oh wait, it's him. Yeah, it is him. He scored, Mr. Mbala scored because it's a high-level mission, it's prestige, regardless if you failed, right? Yeah, regardless. Thing is that you've been trusted to do that. Because when you're president, you cannot be just given an order, right? So if you are given that mission, you need to be trained, to be shown certain logic, so you understand more, you get certain nuance and depth in understanding that situation that other presidents may not be aware of. So, you know, why people like talking? Because all our chances in this life are walking on 2 feet, on 2 legs. So, it's all about where we get in life. Very often depends upon whom we talk to, who is in our sphere. And yeah, he embraced this opportunity. He knows more, understands more. So when he comes back to Africa, his neighbors may ask him, so what does Putin think about? And he's somewhat added value to his own self. Yep. Sorry, your connection here sucks a bit. Yep. Okay, well, we manage. 360,000 watching us, over 90,000 click the like button. Don't forget to share these streams, because that definitely helps to promote them, and more people get to see these conversations. It's much better for them too. Oh, by the way, did you see that video, that horrible video from Russian side, where mobilized are sitting in trenches mixed with dead bodies? Oh yeah, I've seen that. So mobilized, so that you understand, this is very typical. And those who are not mobilized yet but may be considering, that's what you're going to face if you come to this front. So, look, I had a stream about a couple hours ago with Piatkovsky and Gutkov, and Piatkovsky at the end quoted Zelensky saying that we have achieved new level of relations with Israel. So we understand there is something happening between Kyiv and Tel Aviv. Is there anything known about that new level? Even if it was known, I could not elaborate unless President discloses. Why? Do no harm, right? So could it be something supplied to Ukraine? No, Mark, I don't think that's a little fairy tale-ish. Nothing yesterday and today will already have something. No, they could probably have agreed about something. For example, in Iran, two colonels who were in charge of supplying drones to Russian army were killed. So, sometimes it could be not about supplies, it could be about other things. I'm not connecting these two dots. I'm just saying there are two different facts that were in the media sphere. I did not see the connection yet. Wink. So your prognosis, perhaps about elections in Israel. Israelis will figure two politicians, or same politician before the election and a politician after the election who got the power, are two very different people. When you actually have access to power, your style and your position changes by real-life politic challenges. And then, people of Israel will find a way to select the right person who will be representing their interests more effectively, or most effectively. So it's interesting things happening now, and it's curious how soon will Israeli community, expert community, realize the forming trends. I think they're somewhat behind, but let's see. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. The topic of a dirty bomb still continues. Even Putin commented today. They continue insisting with that dirty thing. As you like to joke, that stone flour is not coming out. That was a dirty joke. I also like Catholic style joke. Devil is a monkey of God. Oh, no connection. So Russia keeps spamming everything. Dirty bomb, biologically modified geese, nuclear power plants. They don't have creative power. They only cosplay other creations and historic events. They copy either us or Americans. They're incapable of birthing anything themselves. And the level of that copying is... the level of this cosplay is like that gal with her video online that she was selecting a heat sensor, heat visor, because the guys are cold in winter. Right. Oh yeah, that's probably some escort gal deciding to pitch into Putin's military campaign. But there are, not to diminish women and their achievements. Remember, in the times of Second World War, there was an actress who invented a lot of things, including some Wi-Fi encryption and even something linked to CD-ROMs and notebooks. So she was an actress, very beautiful woman, very well looking, elegant dress, furs and all, and at the same time was inventing things that groups of men tasked with national security could not invent. So she could do that on her side as her pet project. Those are rare things. I don't know, Mark. I, for example, had a friend in theater times She was a very interesting lady. She was looking like a legal blonde, pink nails, pink hat, pink purse, pink dress, natural blonde. So one day she comes to me and says, Alexey, can you help me to calculate a mathematical model of security for a physical object? Well, when she looked at my facial expression, she said, "Well, I'm defending a diploma at the university, and that's the topic I'm working with." You think she was hitting on you? No, no. We've been colleagues for quite a few years. So I did not believe her initially, but she ended up really being a part of a group that is developing complex mathematical models for security and safety of physical objects. So when I asked her, she said, well, she just liked math all the time and back at school, and she decided to find something creative to use it. And she defended actually on the top tier of her class, and she graduated with honors. That was an interesting theater you guys had. Oh yeah, it's a special theater, but there are a lot of military, a lot of special services people. Oh man, you got interesting theaters. Okay, let's talk about the dirty bomb. Back to that. Any prognosis? No, I think the subject will die, just as many others. They shelled from the biggest guns they had with that news, and then everybody in the world told you, go F yourself. Ministers of defense of all the nuclear countries, Great Britain, United States, even France, and I guess Putin had to step in and defend his people, and even showed up on the media and said, and mumbled something about that, but I don't think this topic will continue in perspective. No, I don't think so. Yeah, there's nowhere for it to evolve. Let's play a little thing and imagine what's the future of it. They can say, "Oh, we discovered a laboratory." For example, they're trying to mention Yuzhmash for dirty bomb. What else they have? What else can they bring? Do you know our Ukrainian memes? We're getting offended not just by the dirty bomb statement, but the fact that it's dirty, because everything is clean in Ukraine. Yeah, we like our things clean, so. All right, to hell with them, with their dirty stuff. 23 minutes we've been live. Another bleep on the radar today is that Alpha Bank is being nationalized in Ukraine. Roxolana Pedlas, in her interview to Ukrainian Telegraph media, commented that that's what happened. Also, Americans slapped some sanctions on Mr. Shore from Moldavia and against the singer Jasmine. Have you heard about her? I'm trying to imagine, what did Jasmine do there? Okay, she was wife of one of the oligarchs and probably was doing money laundering. Okay, that's a usual scheme. Yeah, ladies usually get into the sanctions list by aiding in money laundering. That's right. So, where I'm leading with that is any motion on the list that we discussed about new sanctions? Oh, Mark, this is a long story. Not today, not tomorrow. It will be months. It will be sent to the West, will be checked by their special services. Then there'll be an appeal to governments and parliamentary bodies. This is a story for months. It is not the story of the near streams. So you don't think we have a perspective to the end of the year to see something coming out of these lists? Well, maybe by the end of the year we'll see that, maybe. By the way, two biggest refineries in India broke their contract or did not extend them with Russian oil, because then there is another sanction package coming out and they don't want to be slapped with it. So this is the effect of secondary, tertiary effect of sanctions being put on Russia. God's mills, they work slow, but they work very surely. And there'll be consequences to economy, to politics, to society in Russia. So they feel that, they see that. They are using other resources, even the president of Guinea to send over. Here's another news. I thought it's fake, but no, I see it being mentioned in several media that Russian command is trying to recruit Afghanistan special forces, ex-special forces that were prepared by Americans. I saw that news in 3 different ways, in 3 different media outlets, and people are wondering what would Arestovich say about that. So, yeah, back in Afghanistan, they had some special forces. They had an army, actually, right, that was prepared by allies and trained by them. So I'll read that there are about 20 to 30,000 of those people, still experienced recruits that served in Afghanistan army that could join Russia potentially in the war against Ukraine, although America did evacuate most of the top brass and officers, but there's a lower level that might still go and fight this war as hired guns. So you think this is a story, this is a possibility that they hire them to Wagner? Oh yeah, hire them and bring them here in winter in Europe. That will be an interesting story. Well, they do get some cold climate in the mountains. Of course they do, but the war theater is very different. The terrain is different. Perhaps somebody will agree to do that, but that just shows again that the country that was scaring all neighbors with its military might before is now walking around seeking for anybody who will fight for them. Yeah, another media is saying that those troops who are prepared by American instructors are getting offers to fight in Ukraine on the Russian side. All right, Russia is lacking qualified infantry and they're scrambling to find other sources. It doesn't quite matter. Are you elite? Are you not elite? Infantry, missile and artillery shell doesn't care. The formula of the warfighter? What it consists of? It's spirit, skills, and physique. Spirit exceeds skills and physique. It's not about how they're trained, really. The core is what's your motivation. You can understand you can understand that many of them do not want to fight. Many Russian citizens refuse fighting, right? Because they don't see the reason for that war. But then there are professionals also who know how to fight, who that's their way of making money. And in general, yeah, you can find, some thousands of people who know how to. But in general, if you take the whole system, because it's the whole country fighting on our side, it's not just Ukrainian military forces that is being often mentioned. Everybody is fighting. It's special communications, intel, Ministry of Internal Affairs, all police, National Guard, Territorial Defense, they all are taking part in this war. And even if he's a border guard standing on the western border, first of all, they are rotated. So he'd be on one side of the border, on one border 1 month, another border the other month. Or even if you're a comm officer and just working to maintaining good communication lines, these people are bringing enormous input to the success of this war, regardless if they were in the front and shot at some blips was shot at. Everybody is fulfilling their duty. Doctors, including. Every of these people has tons of more motivation than any mercenary who came to our front. Because everybody in our army understands that if we fail, behind us are our women, children, our future, our homes. And Afghani Mujahideen, if they get there, what will they fight for? Even if they find 1,000 of them, they take a village, succeed in doing that, and then they get shelled by HIMARS and their military adventure is over. That's it. Big war, that's how it happens. All right. 428,000 watching us live. Over 120,000 click the like button. Thank you, everybody who is doing that. Do not forget that it is important for us that you guys share links and help us promote that. Subscribe to Fagin Live. We reached our level of 1,920,000 subscribers. We're slowly moving to 2 million. Those 30% of you who have not subscribed yet, please subscribe and subscribe to Alexey Arestovich channel. And if you are listening or watching that in English, please subscribe to the Privateer station as well. All right. Another question. I'm watching news here. People are quoting us, our yesterday conversation with Hodges. So there is a context of November meeting in G20 that is scheduled to happen on Bali. Any news? Doesn't seem there are any changes there. If Zelensky is saying, I don't have anyone to talk to, and there's no subject in that discussion, and that letter from 30 congressmen, some of them are old, retired ones, they pedaled back, said that we were misunderstood, this is not the message we wanted to convey, and we saw the efforts of Musk, the efforts of Pope, who continue to peddle some negotiations. But do you think that story is completely dead and Putin is not going anywhere, and there will not be any negotiations with between Biden and Putin over the head of Ukraine? What do you mean, over the head? I'll tell you one scary thing. You should trust politicians more often than people tend to. There are a lot of conspirology about what politicians say, and they're saying that politicians are always lying. Well, if you actually review what they're saying, it seems that they are saying mostly truth. If Putin is out there saying he wants to destroy Ukraine, yeah, he is out there to destroy Ukraine. And when they're not going to summit, they are not going to summit. So, Collective West declared that parameters of victory in Ukraine will be set by Ukraine and will be helping. Like Scholz said yesterday, will be helping Ukraine for tens of years. It's not in terms of continuing this war, but in terms of restoring and rebuilding Ukraine after this war. So that is touching, and I do want to take my hat off for people supporting us like that. And, things change. Remember how he started and his statements at the beginning of this war? And his image was very different from Merkel's, so people were hoping she'll be back in some capacity or influence things, but look, he evolved. So, I do partake in different forums, in different NATO forums, I talk to different people. So, in the West, they are reviewing a set of 4 conditions. They use it as a doctrine planning tool. They've been published, so I can repeat them again. First is a complete liberation of Ukrainian territory to the August of 91. Second is giving out military criminals to international prosecution and to Ukraine prosecution. Second is monetary reparations after the war. And the fourth is resignation of Putin, or getting rid of Putin as a leader of Russian Federation. So this is very simple. These are 4 pillars that things are standing on. And that's what they're working on. Everything is pretty clear. Okay, and then the last news that is being quoted by RIA Novosti, that's a Russian outlet. Kyiv regime has already completed technical preparations with the dirty bomb, as the source commented for RIA News. They already have a mock-up of the bomb designed as .u, and it is planned to be stuffed with radioactive material and then blow it up near the over the ex-Chernobyl area, and then produce some elements of electronics that are part of other Russian missiles to. I have a response to that, Mark. Okay, yeah, I get it. That is the response to these accusations. They are afraid. They are afraid that they will be called out for use of tactical nukes in Ukraine. And then the war may change its direction much faster and much more rapidly that they'll be comfortable with. Sorry, so they were quiet initially. They did not have details. Now they're connecting Chernobyl, radioactive material, .u, Yuzhmash. Yeah, Russian leadership is solving an epic task of trying to assemble a word happiness out of little cubes with letters that fit the word shit. I think that's where they're going to. This is somewhat a grand finale. This is wild, even on the level of ideation. The people who called us farmers, who thought the West has lost its ethics and wills, and they thought themselves to be the smartest and the coolest guys on earth, that they'll resolve everything behind the curtains. And they have full potential to control Ukraine shortly. So what do we see at the end of this war? We see full ideological depletion. That's what they got to. There is no creativity, there is nowhere else to fall deeper. Well, because you should not serve Satan. Satan really sucks at creative things. He can only pretend something to be something else, but there's no creativity there. Alright, these are not all the news, but I think the last thing I wanted to talk to you about, have you seen that investigation by Insider, who found a secret military detachment of Ministry of Defense of Russian Federation that is programming the targets for missiles that are hitting Ukraine, and identified about 30 persons, young men and women. And basically, they published a list of those who are part of that group. You probably saw a picture. These are real people with their names, positions, ranks, places they live in, family connections, and all. So they're in charge of setting targets. They're in charge of killing Ukrainian civilians, destroying Ukrainian infrastructure, killing mothers, children. So this is not a special secret detachment. These are people who are in charge of monitoring certain targets. So these are the people who normally are in charge of tracking different targets in Ukraine. They know what is being built, what is being added. This group is much bigger than those 30 that they published. So we, as a legal country, we will ask after this war to extradite these military criminals. And if they do not extradite them, well, life then may be full of surprises for them. Because the Earth is, as they say in army, is round, but it has a shape of a suitcase, and you'll see each other at the corner. Yeah, I think you mentioned that one before. Well, if they're watching our streams, I would start being concerned. There is one very dirty anecdote about getting concerned, but what if you censor it? No, I can't. It's really dirty. Okay. After the stream. I like this kind of jokes. Okay, 40 minutes, let's take a pause. We try to keep at 40 minutes usually. And I remind that we're still doing charity program, Alexey Arestovich. We are tracking the destiny of Bogdan, trying to help him. Apparently he has an aunt who is taking care of the boy. He has no other relatives, and so far we cannot yet determine the real person, and it may take the real contacts. It may take a couple more days because he's a young guy. He has no bank cards or anything, and we need to verify everything. And sometimes I need to warn that you need to re-verify whose card were you given, what kind of relative is that. Sometimes relatives quarrel. That's what we also ran into, and here you need to understand who is indeed taking care of the boy and how responsible are they. So be patient. We'll help him. It just takes some time to do due diligence. All right, Alexey, thank you so very much. We have a break tomorrow, right? Yes, tomorrow there is a gap. Alexey will not be able to make it, but on Friday and Saturday, Friday and Saturday I'll be able to do that. I'm not sure about Saturday. Friday I'll be here because there is a lot of traveling this week. Okay, war is war. Gotta do things. Places to be, things to do. We'll have other guests to substitute for your absence, but on Friday, please come see Alexey's stream. Is it Thursday tomorrow? Oh, God, I keep forgetting. Yeah, it is Thursday. I keep forgetting what day of the week it is. It's non-stop. Yep, same thing here. Please subscribe to Fake It Live, to Alexey Arestovich, and to the Privateer Station. If you watched that in English, click the like button. See you later.